Hello, I'm Hickey from interest.co.nz and welcome to a special economic weather report brought to you in association with ASB. Today we're going to look at the fiscal outlook from Treasury and what we're likely to see in terms of taxes in the next 10-20 years if there isn't any change in the government's policy setting. So that means the current tax rates, the current tax thresholds, whether property or land is taxed, that sort of thing. Right now, it's hard to believe this, but right now, half of all families in New Zealand pay no tax. Either they don't pay any tax at all, or they get credits back from the government through working for families. That means that the top 10% of income earners in New Zealand effectively pay 40% of the tax take. In terms of interest costs, if we didn't do anything, we'd also see our debt rise to over 200% of GDP. That means the interest costs on that debt would be 13% of GDP, at least. That's more than we spend on health at the moment. And by 2050, we'd see a debt to GDP ratio of 223% of GDP. That's according to the Treasury. Now, currently, the top income tax rate is 38%, and the threshold is $70,000. But if we didn't change those tax thresholds and those tax rates, the average wage would be $70,000 by 2023, and that means that more than half of the population would be paying the top tax rate. What about future tax? If we chose to do nothing at this stage and all we did was ramp up the existing taxes, what we'd see is the average tax rate would rise from 19% now to 24.5%. That means that given that the tax burden is shouldered mostly by those top 10%, you'd see the top tax threshold rise close to 50% from its current 38%. GST, if we chose to put the burden on GST, would have to rise from 12.5% to 20% now. That suggests, according to the Treasury, that the government is going to have to make some tough choices about how it spends government money, how it organises the tax system, and how it gets the economy going again. Because unless we make changes, we will essentially be bankrupt by 2040. I'm Hickey. That was a special economic weather report, a long-term economic weather report, brought to you in association with ASB.